Hi guys, Mary Beth Temple here from the Hooked for Life with Mary Beth Temple channel, and I am so excited in this video to show you a new product that I found out about when I was at the AFCI Creativation Show this past weekend, Mod Podge Ultra. Now this is available in a matte and a gloss formula, and it is a spray-on Mod Podge that functions as both an adhesive and a finish coat. Now, if you're like me, how many thousands of these little balls of yarn do you have laying around? Because if you're anything like me, it's dozens, if not hundreds. So what I did is I went to the store and I got a piece of subway tile that is a square. This is a little over 4 inches square. And I created both a knit swatch and a crochet swatch with my scrap yarn, and I used the Mod Podge Ultra to make this coaster. So it's really pretty stinking cool, if I do say so myself. So let's quick get into the good stuff and see how to make the project. Now the Mod Podge Ultra comes in 2 different formulations. We have the matte that is in the yellowy goldy kind of bottle, and we have the gloss, which is in the orange bottle. Now, whether I'm using the matte or whether I'm using the gloss, getting the bottle ready to work with is going to happen in the same way. So I'm going to use the gloss for this project. First thing you want to do is shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, because you want to make sure that there is no separation. Now, one of the things I learned in Mod Podge class that I took this last weekend is that the matte requires a little more shaking up than the gloss does. The next thing I want to do, this is a brand new bottle. Because this is a new product, I was really lucky to even get what I got. So the first thing I want to do when I have a new bottle like this is prime the pump. So I'm going to spray it a couple of times until product comes out, but I'm going to spray it on a paper towel just so I don't make a big giant mess everywhere. So let's see what we see. Can you tell I mostly make knitting videos? So you can see I'm pressing the pump. There it goes, and now it's coming out. It was also suggested to us that we make sure that you're depressing the pump all the way down. Don't make a little half pump. To keep that product flowing, you want to depress the pump down as far as it will go. So the first thing that I have is this tile right here. This is called subway tile. Subway tiles are mostly rectangular. They're 3x6 or 3x12, and I got this just at the home improvement store. But these are the corner pieces, and they're square. Now you can see it has coating on the one side and not on the other 3. It just doesn't bother me. This is a really cost-effective way to do these kinds of projects. I think I paid 81 cents for this piece of tile recently. So, you know, is it perfect on all 4 sides? No, but it'll be fun, and I'm going to do it anyway. And then all I did here was I crocheted a granny square. Now I'm assuming that if you are watching this video, you're a crocheter or a knitter. So you don't really need me to let you know how to make a granny square. But I wanted to make it so that it was just about the same size as the tile. I want coverage. I don't need it to come down over the edges, but I do want coverage. And I'm placing it here with the wrong side of the work facing up, because this is the side that I'm going to spray the Mod Podge on. So the cool thing about Mod Podge Ultra, it functions both as a finish and as an adhesive. So the first thing I'm going to do is spray all over the tile. And then the second thing I'm going to do is put a coat on the wrong side of the work all the way around the granny square. And then I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to just put it right on top of here. One more cool thing. I learned so much about Mod Podge this weekend. You have no idea. One more cool thing about this spray on the Mod Podge Ultra is for the first few minutes, this is going to be repositionable. If I don't like where I put it, if I wanted to put it in a different direction, if I wanted to fiddle it around a little bit and make it a little more perfect, it is so much easier to do with the spray Mod Podge than it is if you had the regular, I don't want to call it gloppy because that doesn't sound very nice, but the stuff that you get in the jar. It's easier to reposition stuff with the spray bottle. So I'm just going to keep moving this around until it's perfect. And it's exactly where I want it to be. And it's covering, again, I'm not getting too crazy about this. I'm actually going to flip that up and put just another squirt on there because I don't feel like I got enough on the corner. But now I do. So I'm going to hold that right down. So I'm going to set this off to the side and let it dry. Now, it'll be dry-ish in an hour or two, but it was recommended that you let it sort of cure overnight. Now, if I wanted to, I could leave this the way it is. It would still be soft and fabricy on the top, and it would be, you know, I've used the Mod Podge primarily as an adhesive, but one of the things I want to do is to cover one of the coasters 100% with the Mod Podge and use it as a sealant as well as an adhesive. So I'm just going to put this one aside for a minute. There's my other parts. Here's my next tile. And now this is a knitted piece. Again, I'm assuming you're a knitter or a crocheter if you're here, and you know how many little teeny tiny balls of scrap do you have laying around. I thought this would be a fun use of my little scraps. So once again, oh, I'm shedding. Once again, I'm going to get a good coat of spray on this, and I'm going to spray the wrong side of the knitting work. And the one thing I learned the last time around was to make sure that I got some on the corners. Now, the other question I had when I was taking this class is what can you spray on that the fiber wouldn't stick to? And the answer was silicone baking mats. So these are just some basic ones. I bought them on Amazon, to be honest, and they are the Basics. The Amazon Basics silicone baking mats. Mod Podge does have a Mod Podge mat, but this was really accessible and easy. So again, I could pick it up and move it if I had to. I'm just going to fiddle around with it just for a couple minutes to make sure it stays where I want it to stay. And looking at this, I think maybe I could have done a few less rows. What I did was I cast on 20 stitches on a size 6 needle. This is DK weight yarn. Knit a total of 6 rows, and then did 3 rows at the beginning and end in garter stitch, and the center 14 stitches in stocking stitch or stockinette stitch, depending on what you call it, depending on where you're from. So again, I'm pretty happy with this now. It's sitting where I wanted it to sit. Yeah, you know what? I think that could use another squirt. There you go. That's sitting a little better. And because it's repositionable, I can just keep messing around with this until I'm happy with it, until I feel like it's sitting in the spot where I want it to sit. So for right now, I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to set these cups up, and I'm going to put the adhered tiles on top of the cups so I can spray those edges. I want to get that seal on those edges. So let me get this set up, and I'll be right back. So I took my paper towel and I wiped up the excess glue off of the silicone mat just to make sure that I wasn't you know, making a mess when I didn't mean to. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a good heavy coat of the Mod Podge Ultra. And again, I'm using the gloss. I'm going to let it really soak in, because what I want is for a solid surface on both sides, so that when it dries, I can actually use these for coasters. I can go ahead and put my drinks on them. So apparently holding the bottle this way is a poor choice. So I'm going to go back to vertical so I don't mess up my pump. And I'm really soaking this. And the other thing I want to do, remember I was saying how some of the edges are raw? I want to make sure that I get some spray on those edges. just so they're sealed, because on these subway tiles, only one side is sealed, the other three are not. And I'm not so worried about the seal on this side because this is the sealed side, but I want to make sure that I get that spray on all the yarn. And now I'm going to do it on the knit version. I'm still feeling like there should be a little bit more under there. And I have to tell you, I am more of a knitter and a crocheter and a sewer than anything else. So if I can make this work on camera, anybody can. There is no fancy editing going on here, you guys. If I can make it work, it's doable. Whoops. Okay, so you can see it's beating up a little bit on the top. I'm just using my fingers because this will clean up with soap and water. It'll come off my hands. I'm sort of hitting it a little bit with my fingers so that the wool, this happens to be wool yarn, that the wool sort of absorbs the spray and it doesn't beat up on the top. So I'm really kind of just hitting it a little bit with my hands, and what that's doing is it's helping the Mod Podge get absorbed into the fiber and not lay on the top. So again, this is soaked now because I really want that nice, clear, glossy finish. So all I'm going to do now is go mop up that little bit of extra that's on the silicone mat, and I'm going to go wash my hands with soap and water, and I'm going to leave this to sit overnight just to make sure that it's as dry as it needs to be, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and we'll take a look and see what they look like. So here we are back. It is 14 hours since I turned off the last video shot. I wanted to just leave these and see what would happen. So let's take a look. This is my crochet one. Wow. All right. Yes, I know this video was to tell you how cool this product is, but this is pretty cool, y'all. So it's, you can still see the stitch definition. Let me get a little closer here. Hang on. I like that you can still see the definition, but this is, you know, it's hard. It's not, I wouldn't say it's 100% saturated. It's probably about 60% saturated. If I wanted it to be rock-like, I think what I would do is put another coat on and let it dry. I will also say this, I used the gloss because that was the first bottle that I picked up, but I think with the fiber in it, and again, this is a wool fiber, I don't think it matters. I think either the gloss or the matte would work, because with the number of coats I have put on, I am not getting a glossy finish, although I guess I am down here. So that's the crochet one. Let me grab the knit one. Try not to make you all nauseous. I know I'm shot really close here. So again, here's the knit one. I can feel fiber. Let's see. You can see fuzz. You know, it's not like resin coated, you know. I would also say this is my first time trying it with the knit swatch, and I think I should have gone a little smaller and then stretched it out. You know, really put some more effort into stretching out, because I don't think that this is as neat along the edges as my crochet one was. Doesn't bother me though. And again, I'm not trying to be flippant here. I'm really delighted with these. The last thing that I would do, and I'm not going to do it on camera because I know you can figure it out, I'm going to cut a piece of felt and just glue it on the bottom. I can use the Mod Podge Ultra as an adhesive, or any other Mod Podge adhesive that you have laying around, just because when I put this on the table, I don't want it to scratch the finish. But these came out really cool, and I could see these being a really wonderful use of all the 950,000 little balls of yarn that we all have laying around. So thank you so much for joining me here on Hooked for Life with Mary Beth Temple. Please subscribe to the channel, pretty please. for knitting and crocheting and sewing and craft and whatever I can lay my hands on that you guys might be interested in seeing. And there's the crochet one last time. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. See you again real soon.